for groceries? How do you get along by yourself?
My computer is my open window to the outside world. When I need non-perishable goods, I use netgrocers.com, and I can order any of my canned goods or packaged goods from Net Grocers. I order things by bulk online. Staples. Here in Battle Creek, you can go to Staples, and if you order $50 worth, it's free shipping. And it's amazing what you can get at Staples, even down to crackers and all kinds of things. You have to go on Staples and see what they have. But I use my computer all the time to order things. And you can also comparison shop when it comes to getting along. Some days it takes 2 canes to get out of my chair, just to get into the wheelchair to go to the bathroom. But I have my canes right beside me, and they're easy to reach. I have a grabbing stick so I can pick up what falls on the floor, and it all works. But you have to plan ahead. I have trouble running a vacuum, and so when I vacuum, I do the whole house because I hate to run that vacuum. I have a Hoover, and it's just too heavy to move. But if I plan ahead, and if I start like at 5 o'clock in the morning, before the day's over, I can finally get all my floors vacuumed. You have to plan ahead. And I do what the old lady said, 1 foot square. I don't do the whole house. I do just in front of the front door, just in front of my chair, just in front of the window. And eventually I'll have the whole floor done. But I break my whole life up into 1 foot square jobs. The church is there when I need it. 1 month, they raised the price of my medicine, where my medicine went from $10 every 3 months to $15. I couldn't afford to get my medicine and pay my rent. So I had to call the bishop, and they paid my rent that month. That was very hard for me. I don't like not taking care of myself. But the bishop was so gracious, and they paid my rent that month. And I've managed since. But you have to plan ahead and try and figure out what to do on your own. One year when I was at the trailer, my electric and my gas, the bills would go so high in the summer with air conditioning and winter with heat. I went on eBay and I crocheted nylon net dish scrubbers. And I sold nylon net dish scrubbers on eBay. When you crochet with nylon net, it eats your fingers up. I bought it by the bolt, and I would have to cut it in strips and then roll it in balls and then crochet. Well, this church in Iowa, they contacted me because when you sell on eBay, you have to pay eBay a percentage of what you sell. But this church in Iowa, they contacted me personally. They were building a room onto their church. And so they wanted all the nylon net dish scrubbers I could crochet. So I sold them $100 a month. That's as much as I could crochet. And so I sold nylon net dish scrubbers all winter long and then all summer. And I built the room onto their church. And for every dozen that they buy, I'd send them 4 extras. So that way they had a little extra too. But I'll never sell nylon net dish scrubbers that way again. Because you can't wear gloves, even thin ones. And so it takes all the skin off of your fingers. But you can do it, 1 dish scrubber at a time.
And how did you manage for transportation?
I take Caltransit. Caltransit will lift my wheelchair right in and tie it down. For $2, it takes me where I'm going, and $2, it takes me home. Now that's pretty cheap transportation. And besides, you have a nice driver to visit with on the way. Not that I ever do any talking.
No, of course not you.
One thing about, I wanted to mention with Caltransit, a lot of times they'll pick up 2 or 3 other people, when they pick you up to take you. And so you don't get right direct trip. You might go all over town before you get dropped off. This one lady, she was a kidney patient. And I had done kidney dialysis when I was in Indiana. And so I knew about kidney dialysis. And so I got to talking to this lady. And I would tell her about what Heavenly Father was doing for me and how gracious He was to me. And she was saying, what church do you go to? This is about the 4th or 5th time I talked to her. I said, well, I'm LDS. I said, you probably call us Mormons. Mormons believe all that? You believe the same thing I do. I said, that's right, we're not that different. We have a few things that you don't have, but I said, basically, Heavenly Father loves you, and that's all that you need to know. And she says, well, I never knew that Mormons believed all that. And so it wasn't too long before she died. And I said, but I've always been happy that we got to talk about Heavenly Father's love before she finally passed. You have to open up your mouth, otherwise nobody will ever learn anything.
If someone can open her mouth, it's Sister Dyer, all right? So,
You can't shut me up.
no. Tell us what keeps you homebound.
Beg your pardon?
Why are you homebound?
I'm post-polio. And they always told me that by the time I was 40, I'd be in a wheelchair. Well, I wasn't in a wheelchair until 10 years ago, and I'm 71. So I passed the 40 mark. But with post-polio, it's degenerative. Your muscles do less and less all the time. And my right knee, I could be walking down the street and end up flat on my face because the knee don't lock. And if the knee don't lock, you can't stand up. And you also can't get up again when you're down. So I'm back, and then when I was living at the house trailer, I fell and broke my neck. The knee gave out, and I did a nosedive into the wall. So the doctor said, you've got to use the wheelchair because you can't fall all the time. So they put me in the wheelchair. And then I moved in here, and it's easy getting around, in and out, and everything in the wheelchair. I still get up to 4 o'clock in the morning, and I try and walk the hall as much as I can. When I first moved in, I could walk a mile. 5 laps of the hall is a mile. Well, I can only do a half a mile now, but I'm still walking. And Heavenly Father takes care of me day by day, and I do what I can, and when I can't, I sit down. There's a lot of people here in the building that's in a lot worse shape than I am, and they're doing fine too.
Thank you, Sister Dyer.